YouTubers, my name is Amber. I hope that you are enjoying a fantastic day, and as the title suggests, welcome to Project Pan 101. Wow. I have to give a shout out before we get started to two particular YouTubers. Their names are Brown Eyed Sharice and Fatana Shango. Oh, ladies, I hope I didn't butcher your names. But they gave me the idea to make this video because they've asked some very detailed questions about how to Project Pan, what it's all about, and I know there are many of you that are new to the whole subculture, if you will, of the beauty community. Maybe you heard of us through weekly makeup baskets, or maybe you heard of us through Pan That Palette, or through Empty's videos, or products I want to use up, or makeup inventories. This is going to make sense of the entire situation, kind of give you the layout of what project panning is and ways to not only stay motivated through it, but how to get through some stumbling blocks. So without further ado, let's get into Project Pan 101. All right, first off, what is Project Pan all about? I'm not going to go into the detailed history of how it started. If you want more information on that, go on and see my description box below. I'll go on and kind of put the rundown on how it started, where it went, blah, blah, blah. I don't want this video to be crazy long. But the overwhelming concept and goal of Project Pan is to take your collection and get to your personal goal of what you love. Getting your collection around only the products that you love, not just what you bought because it was hyped up on YouTube, or what you bought because it was hyped up at Sephora and Ulta or MAC, or getting sucked into all the product hype. Because I know for those of us that have watched YouTube for any length of time, it is a wonderful tool because you get exposed to products that you might not have found on your own with demonstrations. You get exposed to tips and tricks from professional makeup artists. It is a wonderful forum. But at the same time of it being wonderful, it is also a very huge enabler. I know I've been watching since 2009. I've bought a lot of makeup because of YouTube, because otherwise I wouldn't have checked out some of these brands, because it wouldn't have been something that I would have entertained in the past. So it's been a wonderful tool, but enabling. So the process of Project Pan it's downsizing in a very meaningful, personal way. Just straight downsizing is fabulous because you're giving yourself those good feelings of creating space where there was clutter. You're, passing along some joy and happiness to your friends and family, or if you're having a blog sale, you're recuperating some of the money that you spent. But actually Project Panning is going to really make the difference in how you shop. Because it's going to change your behavior over time when you realize just how long it physically takes you to finish a product. If it takes you a year to finish a bronzer, you're going to be less likely to buy 3 bronzers in the process, because all you're going to see the longer you Project Pan is, that's going to be expired before I get a chance to get to it. Or is it really worth spending the money at Sephora if I know I'm not going to touch it for the next year or two? So it's downsizing in a very, very meaningful way, but at the same time, you're going to get to know a lot about yourself and be very realistic about what you use versus what you have. And I say that because a lot of us, myself included, when I started this Project Pan journey, I would freak out if I ever saw metal pan in any of my eyeshadows or blush, because I would think, I'm going to run out soon. I need to go and repurchase. I need a backup. Like, I can't handle this. Or I wouldn't use palettes because I didn't want any pan showing, because it was just, it bothered me. And I know a lot of you feel that way too. But as you Project Pan, you're going to realize just because you hit pan does not mean it's going to instantly run out. You probably have a few months, if not longer, on top of that before you actually finish the product. So it's the process of being realistic. Being realistic versus it's pretty, or I bought it because of the packaging, or I bought it because everybody else had it, so I want to be popular too. I know we all do it. We all do it. So it's getting down to the nitty-gritty of your makeup collection. All right, so how do we do a project pan, Amber? Well, I have 3 things to get you started. The first one being you want to pick a set amount of products and give yourself a very realistic time frame to either make progress in them or finish them off. I highly recommend you start off small. Don't just look at your makeup collection and go, I'm going to pan everything, because while it's very ambitious to do that, in a way you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. I've been project panning a long time, trust me. I've been there. But as you start, you want to be very realistic and say, okay, if you have an overwhelming collection of something like blush or eyeshadow, maybe pick a couple of colors and say, I'm going to wear these for a month and see how much I get through them. Or I'm going to wear these and give myself all of 2015 and see how far I get through them. Or, I'm going to pan it till I finish it, and use it with all your looks. So pick something that is very realistic for you and kind of give yourself, a mental time frame of when you'd like to finish it. There are fabulous project pan challenges that are constantly circulating around here on YouTube to give you some motivation. So I highly recommend you jump in on one of those. That'll give you some confidence. Which goes into the second thing, tackle small pieces at a time. Give yourself variety in the products that you choose. It's very, very tough if you go into a project pan picking, 2 or 3 concealers, or, a bunch of face powder, or a bunch of nail polish, or, all of the same type of product, because I guarantee you're going to get bored, you're going to get frustrated, and you're going to be disappointed, because if you're constantly trying to shift between all the same type of product, you're not going to see enough visible progress to give you the confidence to keep going. Like I said, I've been doing this a long time. I've had to change the way I do things in the process and figure out what works for me and change out products. These are tried and true tips, I promise you. And then the third thing is to decide if you will allow yourself to continue purchasing makeup, or if you're going to establish some type of budget for yourself, like a low buy, or completely stop buying makeup until you project pan. I have actually tried all 3 methods. As a newbie to project pan, my advice would be not to put yourself on a no buy. And I say that because when you have gone from being able to purchase whenever you wanted something to depriving yourself, it's tough. It's going to add that level of anxiety and that level of disappointment, if you will, when you're just starting out with project pan. So I highly recommend, from my personal experience, if you were starting this out, maybe go on a low buy, or allow yourself to continue purchasing makeup for a while until you start having some success finishing products. Because like I talked about in the ultimate goal of project pan, it's going to take you having success in finishing products to really take a very realistic look at your makeup collection and what you're using versus what you're buying. So this is going to be a learning curve. You're going to fail. You're going to have days that are good. You're going to have days that are bad. So keep the variety in there. Start small. Start small. Don't just look at your entire makeup collection and go, I'm going to use every single one of these products in a year, and whatever I don't touch, I'm getting rid of, because that's gonna create stumbling blocks for you, because then you're gonna feel overwhelmed and just burdened with all of your stuff. So break it up. All right, the next thing we're going to talk about is, when is the best time to start? The ultimate goal of this is, once again, be very, very realistic. Now is the perfect time to start, because we're after the rush of the whole Sephora and Ulta 20% off sale. We are at the point where you might receive a few makeup items for Christmas or whatnot, but you're not necessarily as triggered to buy a bunch of makeup because the holiday hoopla has kind of had its day, and now we're going to be getting into the first of the year. So if you haven't project panned before, now is a really, really great time. I highly suggest that you jump on some of the mini challenges that are going on. I know Paige or Thrifty Beauty has started Finish 7 by spring or March 20th. So that gives you a little over 3 months that you could work on some products and have some friends going along with it in the process. There's also another challenge out called Finish 5 by Cinco de Mayo. I have no idea who started that, but I know I heard it from Megan or Meg's Makeup 8. There's going to be other little project pan challenges along the way. I know I put out my Pan That Palette challenge where you have all of 2015 to get through a palette of your choice. I personally went through the Urban Decay Naked palette for 2014. Next year, I'm doing the Lorac Pro, and a bunch of people are coming along the journey with me. Other people are finishing other palettes out of their collections. So, kind of give yourself, like, jump into these challenges where you have a start and an end, and that way it gives yourself a room to build confidence and not necessarily try to tackle the entire thing on your own, because that is very overwhelming. But the other thing is, be very realistic. Don't put yourself on a project pan when you're very, very triggered to go shopping. So don't be project panning like when you have your birthday coming up and you normally shop for makeup, or don't be project panning when you're trying to think of what you're going to get for the VIB sale. I know a lot of people do some serious shopping in April with the next VIB sale at Sephora. I personally, that's not a high time for me to buy makeup. That's why I started my no buy when I did. But I know for a lot of you, that's going to be a critical time. So maybe project pan until the VIB sale and then give yourself some leeway to buy makeup. Then start project panning again in May. I mean, there's so many ways to do this, but definitely be very realistic. Don't beat yourself up and force yourself to just drastically go cold turkey because you want to achieve success in the long-term goal. This is a marathon, not a sprint, as cliche as that sounds. God, I feel like it just sounds so bad to say it that way, but it really is. It is a marathon. Because sprinting is not going to change your behavior towards your makeup collection for your long-term goals of your spending. All right, so now we're getting to the fun part of project panning, and that is, how do I stay motivated, Amber? The number one thing that you can do to keep yourself on track for the long-term goal is to connect with project panners. There are many of us on here that understand the good days, the bad days, the bored days, the really successful days, and we are here for you to cheer you on and keep you encouraged and give you that extra boost that you need to keep you going. Again, this is a process. There is nothing short about this. There is nothing, I mean, it's not the sprint, it's the marathon. So, you know, on that note of connecting with other project panners, I, for one, have made a video on my top 10 tips and tricks of Holy Grail project pan tips that work for me. I will link that in the description box below. I will also link Cherish or Pretty Pistol 86's video, because she and we both had successful project pans and we take different approaches to them. There is no right way to do this, and so when you hear tips that work for somebody, try them out, and if they work for you, great. If they don't, throw them out and try something else, because it really is about trial and error. It's about being flexible, and my just, oh gosh, I just want to shout this from the rooftops. If you're project panning and you get to a point where you just absolutely hate using a product, do yourself a favor and put it away for a while. Mix in something else, because you're not losing your ultimate goal of using your makeup. You're still staying in your stash. You're still using up what you have without necessarily going out and buying more. Never, ever, ever, ever force yourself to use something that is not working for you. This is the marathon. This is, I mean, it just breaks my heart when people come on here and they're just so discouraged and hating Project Pan, when really if they just mixed in some different things, they could reignite that passion and get back into their makeup and rediscover products that they love once again. It's just, don't let one product ruin the entire experience for you, is what I'm trying to say. The next thing is being flexible. If you need to have variety, try weekly makeup baskets, try monthly makeup baskets. I know I personally, I don't just pick 10 items out of my collection, I Project Pan looks. So I will pick a couple of eyeshadows, a blush that goes with it, and a lipstick, and I will pan those until they're gone. And generally that takes me about 3 to 4 months. In the grand scheme of things, that's a really, really short time to have to commit to a product. Everybody tries something different, so connect with other Project Panners, ask them questions. Don't be afraid to interact with them and get to know them and become friends, because who knows, what works for them may be the ultimate tip for you that gets you moving through your makeup collection. So connect, connect, connect. And then again, there are those videos below if you want some additional tips. And then the other thing is, once again, be realistic. Don't try to pan all of one type of product. Pick a variety. Maybe pick a concealer, a powder, a blush, a mascara, something that will give you enough variety where you're not feeling burdened and overwhelmed and just antagonistic towards Project Pan. Keep it positive, keep it lighthearted. It's all about enjoying what you've already spent. You've already lost the money, you might as well enjoy it. All right, now we're going to talk about the critical area of Project Pan, and that is what to do on those bad days, because there will be points that you have them. You're going to hit some roadblocks. You're going to have days that you're bored. You might resent people's hauls on YouTube. That happens. Or you're going to just feel like you're constantly deprived of going to Sephora or Ulta, or you feel just anxiety every time you walk into Target or Walmart because you can't walk down those makeup aisles without being triggered. That's going to happen. It's okay. It is okay to feel those feelings. It's okay. Don't beat yourself up over it. This is one of the reasons why I say, to have the long-term success of Project Pan, be realistic. Don't put yourself on a no-buy if that's going to just create feelings of anxiety, and then you end up splurging to the point of feeling like you defeated Project Pan in the first place. If you have a bad day, you get up the next day and just start anew. Just keep going. It's every day is a new chance. You're still using your makeup. You're still getting through your stuff. Don't feel like you have to make yourself feel guilty. Don't ever feel like you're too embarrassed to come on here on YouTube and say you had a bad day, because I have bad days too, and I've been Project Panning for years. It happens. You get bored. You get frustrated. That's one of the reasons why I've had myself on a low buy for quite a while, because there were times that I needed to go out and buy 1 or 2 things just to kind of get me remotivated to get back into Project Pan again. It took months and months of that for me to finally start realizing, okay, I'm good without shopping for a set length of time, and now that I've done the set length of time, I'm ready to embrace a no-buy. But it took me over 2 years to get to this point. So don't feel like you have to immediately start with, I'm going to go on a no-buy for the next year and give yourself a hard time if you don't make it, because once again, it's all about the long-term goal of changing your shopping. It's about the long-term goal of getting your makeup to the collection of products that you love. Keep that goal focused in your mind, and if you have a bad day, it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to be embarrassed about it. Don't feel like you have to end Project Pan and just say to hell with the whole process, because that's not That's not true. You can always get back in the saddle and try again. All right, in closing, I want to wish you the best of luck as you start your project pans, and I want you to, here is a huge lesson that I've learned along the way, and that is that project pan, when you have success finishing project or products, because I can honestly say that at this point I have finished literally everything, every type of product that I would possibly use on my face. The more and more things that you finish, the more that desire to finish products will be over your craving to shop. And that is a cool thing. Another thing I've learned is that your opinions will change on products. And allow yourself that flexibility to experience that, because there are some products that I started out thinking they were holy grail, and when I really had to get down to brass tacks of using them day in and day out, my opinions changed. Because, you know, your hormones affect your makeup, seasons affect your makeup, just your general overall mood affects your makeup. There's so many things, and there have been products that I've discovered that I once was not fond of that now are staples in my collection. I speak from experience that when I decided to pan the Urban Decay Naked palette, it was because I really resented gold eyeshadow. It infuriated me that I had so many pans of it, and it was not something that I wanted to wear at all. And through the process of making myself wear it, I really grew to appreciate it, and now it is a color I deem essential for summer makeup for me personally. So, you know, I gave myself that flexibility to allow my opinions to change, and now that I know it's okay to not feel like I have to immediately go repurchase something when I hit the metal pan or I run out of a product, because I can generally find other things in my collection that are comparable. And above all, project panning isn't just about using your makeup. It's about getting to the heart of your spending habits. It's about getting to the heart of what you want out of your makeup collection, and not just getting sucked up in the hype of every product launch. And it's really about realizing what your holy grail products are. So good luck. If you ever have any questions, don't be afraid to get in touch with me. I'm going to go on and link my Pinterest board. I call it Get Naked with Urban Decay, so you can see ideas to use with any neutral palette. I know it's based around the Naked series, but if you have the Lorac Pro palette or the Too Faced Chocolate Bar or Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar or MAC shadows, anything neutral, you can pull ideas from that Pinterest board to change up your makeup looks and keep panning through your stuff. And also too, if you want to get in touch with me, you can email me at beautymama@gmail.com. I'm getting a little bit more active on Twitter and Instagram. I'm still trying to figure all that out. You know, I'm considered old in the YouTube world, so I'm still trying to figure it out, y'all. So I hope that you enjoy a fabulous Christmas with your family and friends. I look forward to the new year. Come on and join me and pan that palette or any of these small challenges, and start enjoying your makeup. You've already spent the money on it, so why not enjoy it and love it and wear it with pride? So have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will be seeing you very, very soon. Bye.